to Chapter 10 of Fundamentals of Lean Process Improvement. In Chapter 10, you're going to learn about the work cell design, as well as an up-close look at cycle time and takt time. Let's get started. In the PowerPoint that is provided, there are 64 slides, so there are a lot of slides, and some of them are just examples. But if you scroll through them, slide number 10 introduces the difference between terms that are very important in this chapter, and that is cycle time and takt time. Cycle time is the frequency between each completed unit in a process. So if we're creating a unit, and I am going from, say I have 10 steps in my cycle, how much time does it take me to get through those 10 steps? Or if I'm doing one step, how much time does it take to get through that? So the cycle, the frequency between each completed unit in a process. Now, takt time is the exact cycle time necessary to meet demand. Now, demand is important. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you go to a take and bake pizza place. And let's say you work for a take and bake pizza place. That's even better. And you are called in to work at noon today, and you're supposed to work from noon to 4. And you start creating pizzas based on your cycle time. So you can complete, let's say, one pizza on your cycle, which would be putting all the ingredients on it and wrapping it, in 3 minutes. Okay, so that's your cycle time. So from noon to 4, you're creating an awful lot of pizzas, which is fine if it's game day and you have a lot of demand for those pizzas to go, and you really never know what that demand is going to be. But takt time says that you are creating the pizzas in time just to meet the demand so that you don't have the excess inventory. So the exact cycle time necessary to meet the demand. Well, in an industry like that, it would be really difficult, I think, to tell unless you happen to analyze 1 year to the next, keep calendar saying, well, this is a game day, or this is a such and such day, or on Saturdays we have this much work, and on Tuesdays it's very slow. So you tend to adjust the number of workers that you need to do that. Now, I know a lot of pizza places, they're not all that efficient, and so they'll call you into work at noon and they'll say, hey, you know what, at 1 o'clock we don't need you, and then you go home. Now, that's not a very nice thing to do, and your workers aren't going to stay working very long. So in industries that are lean, that have their process together, they're going to have their takt time down. They're going to know exactly the cycle time necessary to meet the demand that is there. I'll give you an example here. I had a manager from Walmart, a rather new manager in a rather new store. It was a Walmart in Coralville. Come to talk to my class, and he said actually that Walmart kept the statistics of people going through the check line on various days. All right, so October 31st or let's say October 20th is a big day because it's before Halloween and it's 11 days before Halloween, so we're going to have more people going through at a particular time, even from time of day. So the schedule for each year was set up based on the previous year. So October 31st is busy between these hours, then this is how we're going to staff it. And they found that to be pretty good, except in Coralville that didn't quite work because, as I said before, game day a lot of times makes a lot of difference in university towns, and so game day we're always going to have a big demand. And so the manager had to go to corporate and say, listen, you know, this is a university town, and I need to be able to make allowances for staffing on those days. But anyway, it all has to do with time, the frequency each unit it takes to complete a unit in a process, and then figuring that the cycle time into the actual takt time necessary to meet the demand. So it was a long story to get to a good point. Now, going into cells, this chapter goes into the design of manufacturing cells, or people and their positions in order to be most efficient. And so they're going to have lots of designs for you to look at, and they're really quite interesting. Here in this picture are examples of cells. So this is an assembly cell. This happens to have 3 people in it. And one person does something who gives it to somebody else who does something else. Or we might have 3 people doing the same thing. So there is a cell. That's exactly what they mean. And some cells are people, human cells, and others are automated. So the automated ones, of course, the cycle time would be, as long as the equipment's working really well, would be pretty stable. The takt time, though, would have to be altered based on how much production you need to make. So I'm going to now go to the page for Chapter 10. And the video that I have for you is from Simplex Improvement. It's on cells. There are 2 videos, very good. Please watch. And again, as I always say, and it's fabulous for you to watch the videos before you read the chapters. Now, if you find that the videos aren't that helpful and that you can really understand the chapters because you have experience already with Lean, that's up to you. But basically, for those who are trying to get a grip on what the terminology means and have an overall understanding, it's easiest to watch the video introductions before reading the chapter. In this chapter, of course, you have a quiz and a discussion activity. All right, that's it.